My child, you must understand this with full seriousness. Heaven is not silent when you scroll past what was sent to save you. You may think it's just another moment, another message, another voice in the noise. But I, the Lord your God, have appointed very specific times where I break through the routine of your life to reach you directly. This is one of those moments. Not every word is divine, but some words carry weight beyond what the human ear can measure. This message is not ordinary. This is not just content. This is a divine delivery, and heaven has been watching to see who receives it and who skips it. You think you decide what matters, but there are moments when what you ignore reveals what you truly believe. And today, what you choose to do with this moment will open or close a door that cannot be taken lightly. You see, heaven sends warnings. Heaven sends confirmations. Heaven sends protection in the form of interruption. And when you skip what heaven sends, you do not just ignore words. You delay your own breakthrough. You disrupt the timing of your own miracle. I have seen it happen before. I have watched my beloved ones skip what their spirit recognized as sacred, simply because their minds dismissed it as common. I've seen someone scroll away from a word that carried the very strategy they prayed for the night before. I've seen tears fall later, because they realized too late that what they skipped was the key they begged me to give them. Child, I am not angry. I am pleading with you. Do not make the mistake of treating my voice casually. I come to you now not because you earned this, but because I love you too much to let you miss what's coming. I know you've been distracted. I know the world pulls at your focus, constantly offering noise to drown out the still, small voice of heaven. But in this very moment, I have silenced the noise, just enough for you to hear me clearly. And I need you to listen, because you are being watched, not for punishment, but for alignment. The angels assigned to your life are watching how you respond. The spiritual realm is watching what you prioritize. The enemy hoped you would skip this message. He placed distractions right before and right after it, hoping your spirit would not recognize the divine fingerprint resting on these words. But here you are. And now you must decide, will you receive what I am trying to deliver into your soul, or will you let it slip away like so many have before you? Do not be like those who delayed, who said, I'll come back later, and never returned. Do not be like those who clicked away, only to walk straight into confusion, still wondering why their prayer went unanswered, when the answer had been sent, but they ignored the delivery. Heaven records these moments, not to judge, but to align, because obedience begins not when you understand fully, but when you respond faithfully. This message is not here to entertain. It's here to equip, to expose, to elevate. And if you ignore it, you may not recognize just how close you were to deliverance. But if you receive it, everything, yes, everything can begin to change, starting now. They saw it. Just like you, they felt the tug, the pause, that unmistakable sense that something sacred was speaking through the screen. But they ignored it. They brushed it off as another motivational video, another emotional moment, another whisper they could afford to silence. And what followed changed everything. They thought they had time. They assumed they could return to it later. They thought, if it's important, it'll come back around. But what they didn't know is that some messages are sent with a divine expiration. Some moments are marked by heaven not for inspiration, but for interception. And when they skipped it, they skipped more than just a video. They skipped a breakthrough that had been scheduled for that very hour. And heaven wept, not in anger, but in sorrow. Because what followed was confusion. What followed was delay. What followed was doors that seemed to close without warning. Relationships that suddenly crumbled. Finances that spiraled for no logical reason. Peace that evaporated overnight. And they kept asking, why now? What happened? But I knew. I saw. I had sent them the answer before the problem arose. I had delivered the warning before the storm arrived. But they didn't stay long enough to hear it. They missed the instruction that would have shielded their household. They ignored the voice that would have rerouted the accident, the betrayal, the fall. They thought skipping it meant nothing. But in the spirit, it meant everything. You see, heaven speaks in layers. My words are alive, timed, and sacred. When I say, listen now, I don't mean when it's convenient. I mean now, because obedience is often the difference between being exposed and being protected. Some skipped it and walked straight into emotional collapse. They wondered why anxiety returned after they thought it was gone. They didn't realize they had stepped out of alignment by skipping the very clarity I had sent to keep them grounded. Others skipped it and entered into agreements, business, emotional, spiritual, that looked promising, but were filled with spiritual traps. They signed contracts that led to years of regret. They reconnected with people who reopened old wounds. They accepted offers that drained their purpose, all because they skipped what I sent. My child, I do not say this to scare you. I say this because I need you to learn from what others refuse to acknowledge. You are not here by accident. You are not reading these words just to feel a chill. You are here because I've given you a second chance to respond differently, to listen fully, to act decisively. You've seen what happens when others disobey. Some of them still haven't recovered. Some are still wandering, searching for a peace that left the moment they ignored my call. Do not join them. Let their story be your warning. Let their silence become your shout. I sent this to you now to say, you still have time, but barely. The clock is spiritual, and it is moving fast. The window is open, but it is narrow. Do not skip this. Do not scroll. Do not assume you'll get another sign. I am speaking now, directly, because I want your path to be covered. I want your next steps to be clear. I want the enemy's grip broken before it strengthens. But you must not do what they did. You must not delay, dismiss, or doubt. They skipped it and regretted it instantly. But you, if you obey now, will rejoice eternally. When you ignore what heaven sends, the price is never paid all at once. No, it accumulates, slowly, subtly, silently, until the weight becomes unbearable. That is why divine signals, those gentle whispers and urgent words, must never be taken lightly. I do not speak without purpose. I do not warn without reason. And when I send a message, especially one this direct, it is not optional guidance. It is essential revelation. Ignoring it is not just a spiritual oversight. It is a disruption of destiny. Because my words carry timelines. My instructions carry timing. If you delay what I said to do now, you do not enter the next phase of your life when it was appointed. You may still get there, but later, and with more bruises than blessings. This is not punishment. It is spiritual cause and effect. The enemy rejoices when you ignore a divine nudge, because every skipped instruction is a delayed victory. Every ignored prompting is an open door for confusion. You wonder why things feel off. You wonder why cycles repeat. You wonder why clarity comes in flashes but never stays. It's because your spirit is out of sync with the signals I've been sending. I warned you in dreams. I sent people to speak confirmation. I let your peace become restless, but still you explained it away. That's what many do. They rationalize the supernatural until it fades into the background. They trust their own understanding more than my voice, and then they suffer, not because I desired it, but because they forfeited the protection that comes through obedience. Every signal from heaven is a thread that connects you to divine covering. When you ignore the thread, you unravel the shield. This is why discernment is vital. You must stop brushing off what your spirit knows is holy. The sigh before saying yes, the unease after that call, the way your chest tightens when you're around certain people. These are not coincidences. They are warnings, and they come at a cost when disregarded. But the most dangerous cost is not what happens outside. It's what begins to decay within. Ignoring my voice weakens your confidence in it. It numbs your discernment. It dulls your ability to respond quickly in future moments of urgency. You begin to lose trust in your own intuition, not realizing that it was never meant to be trusted alone. It was always meant to be tethered to my spirit. My child, do not normalize ignoring me. Do not make disobedience a lifestyle disguised as indecision. Every time you skip a signal, the enemy claims a foothold you didn't know you gave him, and then you wonder why your strength feels inconsistent.
Your mind feels foggy, your spirit feels tired. It's because you're walking with less armor than I intended. But I say this not to shame you. I say it because I want you to reset, to realign. Because when you start listening again, truly listening, the tide turns, the atmosphere shifts, and the weight begins to lift. That's what I want for you. That's what this moment is about. You're not too late, but you're close. Listen to me now, before the cost multiplies again. Listen and live. My child, I have never left you without warning. Long before the confusion entered, long before the pain surfaced, long before the storm arrived, I was already speaking. I whispered through unease, nudged your spirit in prayer, stirred your heart with dreams, sent voices that echoed what you felt but couldn't explain. But the problem was not my silence. It was the volume of distractions around you. I warned you, but you didn't recognize it. I placed signs in your path, but you called them coincidences. I removed people from your life, but you chased after them again. I delayed certain outcomes to protect you, but you grew frustrated and tried to force open what I had closed for your safety. You were warned in advance, but not because I'm cruel. I warned you because I knew what was forming in the shadows, what was being plotted in rooms you were never invited into, what was being whispered by people who pretended to love you, and my spirit moved swiftly, sounding the alert before it ever reached your door. But when the warning came, it wasn't wrapped in drama, it came softly, and because it didn't shout, you didn't stay. Because it didn't shake your world immediately, you assumed it could wait. That's the danger. That's what the enemy counted on, that you would dismiss what I whispered, because it didn't look urgent yet. But it was. It always was. If you had lingered in the message I sent you back then, you would have seen clearly the face behind the mask. You would have heard the truth behind the compliment. You would have felt the motive behind the offer. You missed what I showed you, not because I hid it, but because you didn't stay long enough to see it through. Some of the regret you feel now, some of the lessons you've had to learn the hard way, came not from my absence but from your hesitation. But here's the beauty of my mercy. I'm giving you another window, another message, another moment to listen and truly see. You missed it once, but you don't have to miss it again. I'm replaying the warning, because what was forming then is reaching maturity now. What was being set up in the dark is now stepping into the light, and this time, if you listen, you will avoid the blow entirely. But don't miss this truth. Every missed warning becomes someone else's testimony of what they wish they had known sooner. I don't want that to be your story. You are not too far gone, you are not disqualified, but you are at a crossroads, and I want to show you exactly what's happening in your atmosphere. If you will stay, if you will trust, if you will surrender. I have not stopped speaking. I have not withheld direction. What you call confusion is simply what happens when obedience is delayed, but clarity returns the moment you respond. I am reactivating your ability to discern. I'm reopening your spiritual eyes. The very thing you missed before, I'm placing in front of you again. This time don't blink. This time don't rationalize it away. This time don't compare it to past moments that felt bigger, because sometimes the most powerful moves of God come in quiet, subtle whispers that change everything when honored. You are not in danger because I am absent. You are in decision because I am present. I am bringing the warning back, not because I'm unsure of what you'll do, but because I want to give you every chance to choose rightly. I am surrounding this message with grace, but also urgency. Because while my love is endless, your window is not. This is your reactivation moment. This is your chance to take seriously what you once brushed off. This is your spiritual reset, if you'll claim it. Don't wait for it to get louder. Don't wait for the chaos to confirm what your spirit already knows. Don't let this pass and tell yourself you'll come back to it later. This is the later. This is the moment. This is the hour. Step into it now, and watch what clarity, protection, and peace begin to flood your atmosphere. The moment you do. They didn't think much of it at the time. Just another message, just another video, just another stirring in the heart that felt familiar but not forceful. So they ignored it. They clicked away. They turned up the volume on their music, their routine, their comfort, and muted the quiet voice of conviction. But what they didn't realize was that this wasn't just a passing moment. It was a rescue mission, a message heaven crafted specifically for them. And when they skipped it, regret wasn't immediate, but it was inevitable. Days passed, things shifted. Suddenly the things they had control over began slipping. The peace they carried started to flicker. Small complications became emotional storms. Relationships that seemed stable began to strain, and somewhere deep inside, they felt it. They knew it. They remembered that message, the one they didn't finish, the one they scrolled away from, and regret began to set in. Not the kind of regret that simply says I should have listened, but the kind that cries out, I was warned. That cry echoed through their prayers, their questions, their restless sleep. They looked back and saw the mercy that had been extended and ignored. The tragedy is not in failing. The tragedy is in being offered light and choosing the shadow. What they missed wasn't a small moment. It was a divine course correction. It would have saved them from that conversation that reopened old wounds. It would have shielded them from the deal that drained their spirit. It would have revealed the person whose presence was slowly strangling their growth. They skipped it, and the price was spiritual, emotional, even physical. And you, my child, stand now in the same kind of moment. You don't need to wonder what will happen if you ignore my voice. You've already seen it in others. You've witnessed their detours, their frustrations, their spiritual fatigue. You've even felt the edges of regret creep into your own heart at times. But this is your rescue. This is your redirection. This is your chance to write a different ending. I don't want you to experience what they did. I don't want you crying over what could have been prevented. I don't want you grieving what could have been protected. That's why I'm saying it again, louder this time. Don't skip what I'm showing you. Don't walk away from what I'm trying to place in your hands. Don't pretend the warning is not for you. It is, and it's not too late yet. But the window is closing, and I will not force you. Love always gives a choice, but you've been given more chances than most. You've been covered in moments when others would have fallen. You've been spared from consequences that should have caught up with you. That wasn't luck. It was my mercy, and I won't withhold that mercy now. I'm still offering it. I'm still here, but I need you to decide differently this time. I need you to stay with me until the end. Not just of this message, but of the transformation it was designed to begin. The regret they felt doesn't have to be yours, but you must act. You must obey. You must believe that what I'm saying matters more than your urge to move on. This is your shift, if you'll let it be.
This is it, my child. The final instruction before this moment passes you by. I have poured out heaven's strategy. I have uncovered deception, broken delay, and exposed what the enemy hoped you'd never see. And now, it comes down to this. Will you obey or will you delay? I am not calling for emotional response. I'm calling for spiritual alignment. You don't need to feel it to know it's me. You know because your spirit is awake right now. You feel it in your bones, not because of fear, but because this moment is marked. And here is what I am instructing you to do. First, pause. Do not rush to the next thing. I need you still. I need your attention longer than a scroll. Sit with this message. Let it soak. Let it burn. Let it heal. Second, write down what stood out. This is not just content. It is prophecy, and prophecy must be recorded. Write it as a covenant. Write it as a command. Third, remove what I exposed. I showed you faces, names, places, and patterns that are not safe. Don't second guess it. Don't pray about what I already answered. Just move. Delete the number. Exit the situation. Say no where you used to say maybe. Fourth, return to me. Not to the religion of routine, but to relationship. Talk to me. Seek me. Ask me how to walk out what you just heard. I will guide you. My spirit will remind you. And lastly, share what saved you. Someone else needs this too. And if you truly know what just happened inside your spirit, you won't want to keep it to yourself. My voice is not just for your comfort. It's for their covering too. This is your moment. The next chapter starts now. Not in theory, But in truth, the shift has already begun. Don't waste it. Don't hesitate. Don't return to what I just pulled you out of. The clock was ticking, but this message stopped. Time for a moment. Just for you. Now use it wisely, before it's too late. My child, even after everything, after the moments you skipped, the times you doubted, the warnings you brushed off, I am still here. My love has not wavered. My eyes have not turned, and my promises over your life have not expired. I am the God of redemption, and while others may hold your past against you, I hold your future in my hands. What I am willing to do for you now is not based on how perfectly you've obeyed, but on how honestly you respond in this moment. Because even now I am ready to restore. I am ready to reroute. I am ready to redeem the time you thought was lost. If you listen now, I will shift the weight that has been pressing against your chest. I will send clarity where confusion has lived for too long. I will illuminate the faces you need to distance from, and draw the ones who are divinely assigned to your next season. I will make your discernment sharp again, not foggy, not hesitant, but clear like still water. If you will humble your heart and say, God, I'm ready now, I will move faster than you expect. The doors that slammed shut in your last season, I'll open new ones you never imagined existed. The love that was broken, I will heal your heart so deeply that you won't recognize the bitterness that once tried to live there. The finances that crumbled, I will breathe on your efforts and multiply what's in your hands, not as a reward for perfection, but as a response to surrender. I do not need your resume. I need your yes. And if you give me that today, I will take what the enemy meant for evil and flip it into undeniable evidence of my favor. I'll make your regret become your reminder. I'll make your pain become your platform. I'll make your delay become a testimony of divine timing. I know you felt unworthy. I know you've questioned if it's too late. But let me be clear. You are still chosen. You are still loved. You are still covered. And everything I promised you still stands. But you must act now. Don't just listen to this word. Let it alter your next steps. Make the decision to follow where I'm leading. Cut off what I've exposed. Write down what I've revealed. Pray into what you felt stirred inside your chest. Because that stirring isn't fear. It's alignment. Your spirit knows truth when it hears it. And right now you know I'm speaking directly to you. Don't let this moment be one you talk about later with regret. Let it be the turning point. Let it be the shift. Let it be the day everything began to fall into place. Not because life got easier, but because you got in sync with me. I'm still willing to do it all. I'm still willing to open the floodgates. But your response must be different this time. Listen with your whole heart and act. You've done it before. You felt the pull, the conviction, the tug in your chest, and yet you scrolled away. Maybe you told yourself you'd come back later. Maybe you didn't think it applied to you. Maybe you were afraid of what full surrender would require. But this time is different. This time you cannot afford to scroll away. This is not just another message in a feed. It is a divine encounter. This is not just another video. It is a spiritual intervention. And if you scroll past this again, you may not be able to find your way back as easily. Not because I would abandon you, but because every skipped moment makes the next moment harder to feel. Every delay dulls your sensitivity. Every rejection of conviction makes it harder to recognize the next one. That's why this message is pressing so hard into your soul right now. Because I am fighting for you to stay. Fighting for you to remain still. Fighting to hold your attention long enough for transformation to happen. The distractions were designed to pull you away. The notifications, the restlessness, the urge to check something else. All of that is spiritual warfare disguised as ordinary thought. The enemy knows that if you stay with this message until the end, your mindset will shift, your decisions will shift, your atmosphere will shift, and he cannot afford to lose the grip he has tried so hard to maintain. So he whispers, scroll. He tells you, you already know this. He makes you feel like it's not urgent, like you'll be fine without it. But I am telling you the opposite. You need this word, not just for today, but for the days ahead, because storms are coming, decisions are approaching, conversations are on their way that will require spiritual clarity. And if you skip this message now, you will enter those moments without the armor I'm trying to place on you.
So stay, breathe, open your heart, and refuse to give in to distraction. This time do not scroll. This time respond. Even if it means sitting in silence after this. Even if it means closing your eyes and letting the tears fall. Even if it means making a bold decision to cut ties or change course. I am here. I am speaking. And I am waiting for your yes. Don't miss it. Don't move on. Not this time.
My child, what you must understand now is that this message wasn't just written, it was weaponized by heaven to interrupt what the enemy carefully crafted behind your back. You see, the enemy has been orchestrating a strategy in silence, building a plan not to destroy you in a moment but to dismantle you over time. He studied your habits, memorized your emotional rhythms, and selected people, moments, and distractions that seem harmless, but are fully charged with spiritual sabotage. His hope is simple: that you will be too busy, too numb, too indifferent to recognize what's actually unfolding around you. And that's why this word was released at this very moment, not a second too early, not a minute too late, to interfere with what was about to unfold. There are conversations being prepared behind closed doors about you. There are decisions being made with your name attached, opportunities that should be yours, but the enemy has been trying to block them through distraction and delay. There are people smiling near you who are not sent to support you but to siphon your energy. Their presence seems peaceful, but their influence has been quietly poisoning your clarity, and you've felt it, haven't you? The moments of unexplained anxiety, the sleep that never quite refreshes you, the decisions that suddenly become cloudy, those are not coincidences, child. They are signals. And heaven has sounded the alarm through this message to tell you, step back now, reevaluate what you're allowing in your ears, your mind, your space. I have given you discernment, and though you've second-guessed it in the past, it has not been wrong. Your spirit has been accurate, but your compassion has made you hesitate. You've excused behaviors, ignored patterns, and overextended grace to people who were never meant to walk with you in this season. But now, because of my mercy, I'm giving you another moment to course correct before the trap closes. And yes, it's a trap. It doesn't look like one. That's the danger of it. It looks like opportunity. It sounds like flattery. It comes with false peace and artificial alignment. But if you step into it, it will strip you of momentum and delay what I've already prepared for you. You were never meant to stumble here. You were meant to soar, but soaring requires separation. And this message has come as a divine scalpel, to cut away what you didn't even know was entangling you. I am interrupting patterns now. I'm severing soul ties you thought were harmless. I'm exposing spirits that were operating behind the faces you trusted. I'm not doing this to isolate you. I'm doing this to elevate you, because elevation always requires insulation. You cannot carry the weight of what's coming if you remain entangled in what I've already called you out of. So this word has come to you with urgency, not because I'm punishing you, but because I'm preserving you. If you respond to it now, the enemy's plan collapses. If you obey now, the interference ends. If you receive what I'm saying, the attack he formed will fall without ever touching you. But if you dismiss this, if you delay, if you reason it away, you may walk directly into what I had already planned to rescue you from. So I'm telling you now, my beloved, listen carefully. Your obedience to this interruption is your key to protection. Don't just hear this, move on it, because what the enemy didn't count on was that I would warn you first. He didn't expect you to see it coming, but you've been warned, and that warning is your weapon. Use it.